So I've got two new bank switching deals to share with you on the channel that I've not covered before. One of them is similar to a version that ran earlier in the year. That is from TSB. That is worth up to 200 quid. Plus there is a way to hike that by another 20 to 40 quid on top. Plus maybe get another 30 odd quid on top of that. So it could be worth 270 quid. I'll take you through that. But before that, I'm going to start off with a brand new offer from Halifax. And this is very different to the Halifax offers in the past. It has a basis £150 switching deal, which is not amazing considering some of the offers right now, but there's potential to up that to 225 quid. And then once you've got the account, you've got the chance to get an extra 60 quid a year from that one as well. So it could be worth, 285 quid for you over 12 months. So let's start with that one because that is the newest one that launched just this week. Now, let's say 150 quid. Now to get this 150 quid, it's a very, very, very simple switch. You have to open up a brand new Halifax Reward or Halifax Ultimate Reward current account. You cannot upgrade from a different Halifax account to one of those, and you cannot use an existing one of those accounts already. It must be a brand new account. Now, the good news is if you do already have these accounts, you can actually have 3 Halifax Reward accounts. So if you've got one, if you've got 2, just open up another one and use that one to switch into. If you do have all 3 already, and there is a good reason for that, as I spoke about in my video last year, I think it was, how to hack these reward accounts to get potentially 360 quid of free cash every single year. So watch that video if you are interested in that. But if you've already got 3, what you'll want to do to get this offer is to downgrade one of those accounts to a normal bog standard Halifax current account, and then open up a brand new account, reward account on top. Now, that should be fine. There obviously is a chance they won't let you open a new account, but broadly that's how you can get it, so still be eligible for this offer. Once you have opened that account, you need to switch into it from a different bank using the current account switching service. Now, a different bank here is anything that's not Halifax. Don't worry about Halifax and Lloyds being part of the same group there. Don't worry about, as some people have commented in the Facebook group, what about TSB? Because years ago, Halifax, Lloyds and TSB used to be part of a group. None of that matters. Bank of Scotland as well doesn't matter. As long as it isn't a Halifax account, it has to be from a different bank and it has to be part of that current account switching service, which is most high street banks right now. Most of the digital banks, the key exceptions there are going to be like Revolut and Moneys, but most of the time you can switch over from a different bank. Remember, if you don't have a spare account to switch over, I have got content here on the channel looking at dummy current accounts for switching. So why don't you search for that afterwards, or I'll link to it up in the top corner and you can watch that one to help you get another account ready before you switch in. Now, of course, bear in mind when you do open up a new current account, this new one, you will be credit checked. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind if there's anything important on the horizon, such as a remortgaging or an urgent need for any kind of borrowing. But once you do that, you switch over. That's all you need to do. There's no need to have any direct debits coming out of the old or the new account. There's no need to pay any money into the account in order to get this cash. And it pays really fast, within 3 working days of completing the switch. And the switch can be 10 days roughly. So within 2 weeks, that money can be in your account, maybe even sooner. You never know. However, there are a few things we need to cover here just on this switching deal before we get on to how to get that extra £25, 3 times that, £75 in total cash back from this offer. First of all, you have to be eligible for this, you could not have had any switching money from Halifax or Lloyds since April 2020. That is the official rule. Now, it may be that they don't follow up on that and there's no way to actually measure that. But broadly speaking, if you're risking it, there's no guarantee you're going to get this if you have had money from either bank since April 2020. Okay, that's the key kind of exclusion there. It's also worth noting here on joint accounts that if you are switching into a joint account, it's only 1 bonus for the account, not 1 each. Plus, if the other person in that joint account has already had a switching offer from Halifax or Lloyds since that same date of April 2020, you won't get the money at all. So I would avoid doing that. Personally, I would think, just focus on the joint accounts if you're going to do this. And you obviously, if neither of you had the money before, you can do 1 each and get that cash. The other thing I want to talk about here is I said there are no requirements for the switch itself, right? You just do the switch. There's no money going in or out. But the Halifax Reward account itself does have a £3 fee every single month that can be easily avoided, but you have to pay £1,500 into the account every month. Now, it can be in one go, or it can be in smaller installments. So you could pay in 500 quid, take it out a couple of days later, pay it back in, take it out, pay it back in. You can do it faster, but sometimes it's worth just spacing it out a little bit just in case it triggers any kind of anti-fraud warnings that might automatically be on the account. So you can do that. But as long as you do that, as long as you put that money into the account, you won't get charged that £3 fee. So it's really important that you do remember to do this. I'm not going to go into details here about the Halifax reward account itself, how you get that £5 every single month or a free cinema ticket. If you want to find out more about that, check out the review I've already got on the channel about this account, or read the guide over at becleverwithyourcash.com. But effectively, as long as you perform the tasks you need to perform, which are relatively easy, you can get £5 a month. So that's where that extra 60 quid I mentioned at the top could come from. So 150 quid for switching, potentially 60 quid for using the account as normal. But the new bit comes into play right now. And this is the extra £75 cashback that Halifax has not done anything like this before. And it's going to be slightly more involved to get this extra money than you might be used to with many of the other switches. There are exceptions, and when we come to the TSB switch later on, you'll realise that it's quite similar in that sense. But the whole idea behind this is they want you to use the account, not just switch in and switch out, or switch in and ignore it. They want you to actively use it. And if you do that by spending £750 on the debit card every month in September, October and November, you can do all three, you can do two of them, you can do one of them, okay? You don't have to do all of them to get the money, but you get £25 for each of those months. And you get totals. If you do all three of them, that is 75 quid extra you'll get. The money will be paid into your account by the 20th of the following month. So what this effectively means is, because we're saying September's money will come in October, October's money will come in November, November's money will come by the 20th of December. Realistically, we're talking here, you're going to have to keep this account open to get this money until the end of December, so the end of the year. But that's all you have to do, spend 750 quid on the debit card. Now, one thing that's worth raising here, just one caveat that might make it hard if you do that spending, because regular viewers will know that I kind of encourage you not to do your normal spending on the Halifax debit card in order to get that £5 reward or cinema ticket, but instead to use it to top up a digital bank account such as Revolut, or to add money to NSNI or CHIP, or potentially to pay off your credit card. They're all debit card transactions which count towards that £500 spend you need to trigger the monthly reward. This extra cashback is part of the switching deal. Should say actually you can only get this extra cashback if you take part and get the money from this switch. Existing customers can't get it, okay? That 750 quid does have some exclusions, and explicitly says in those exclusions that you can't use it for paying off credit cards. And it also says about bank transfers. Now, this wording is a bit unclear, because it's not a bank transfer. When you are sending money via your debit card to NSNI, on CHIP or Revolut, or any of those other ones that I've spoken about on the channel in the past, that's not a bank transfer. But are they counting it as a bank transfer? It's really hard to say. So I don't think we're going to have an answer on this until October of this year. So if you are doing this offer, I would certainly suggest in that first month, you spend 750 quid normal spending. And that will mean you're sacrificing spending on your Chase debit card or your Amex credit card or whatever, those cashback cards to get money back to do this. If other people in that time have done the hacks, they haven't done the normal spending, and I find out because you've commented on the video or you've let us know in the Facebook group. Remember, if you're not a member, do join us. becleverwithyourcash.com/community is the way to join us. 5,800 of us in there already right now, and it's growing all the time. Then I'll be able to let you know whether those other hacks work. Because at the moment, it doesn't feel like there's any way to track it as you go along. I might be wrong. It might be there is something in the app that appears and says, like, tracking this bonus. But I don't think that's going to happen. So you're going to have to spend, or at least be prepared to spend, 750 quid. But even if you do that, 25 quid for 750 spend is not bad at all. You know, that's a decent rate compared to what you'd be getting with the 1% stuff. So I definitely would suggest that you do this. Now, this offer right now does have an end date. Sometimes they end things early, so just bear that in mind. But at the moment, the end date, the last date you can start the switching process, so open the account, start the switch, is the 31st of August 2023. The switch can end the following week, the week after, but you have to start it. Okay, and remember, the money gets paid quite quickly, so all that money should be paid. You should have received it by the end of September, and then in September, October, November, that's when that second part of the offer kicks in. Okay, so you've got to keep the account through those things to get the additional money, but it doesn't matter about that first 150 quid. That's one offer down. Let's look at the other one right now. And this is the TSB Spend and Save switching deal. Very, very similar to the one that ran at the start of this year. As you can see here, again, I've got the full guide over at becleverwithyourcash.com. So go over to the site, search for TSB Switch and Deal, and you'll get all the details and more analysis. But this is the kind of the basic summary of the offer. So as you can see, 125 quid just for the Switch, but there's a potential to get an extra £75 in additional cashback, plus the chance to get another kind of 20 to 40 quid on top of that as well. So how's this going to work? Let's talk about that £125, the initial switching money. That is actually very easy to get. So this one, you have to open up a Spend and Save or a Spend and Save Plus account from TSB. You cannot have had a switching bonus from them since the 1st October 2022. So if you have, sadly, bad news. You won't be able to repeat this, but if you haven't, you're all good to go. Now, in terms of the Switch itself, there is no offer deadline for this one, but it does say that by the 31st of August 2023, the following actions need to be completed, which basically means the offer itself will be pulled earlier than that. It will end earlier. They may even pull it before that. But effectively, by that date, by the 31st of August, you need to have used the current account switching service to complete a switch from a different bank. It has to be completed, not started, completed. You also have to have switched 2 direct debits from the old account. Remember, I have got a video taking you through some quick and cheap direct debits you can set up if you haven't got any spare ones going. Often they take a while to kind of activate on your account, so these ones can be active in a few days. So there's a good one video to watch if you need those. They need to go as part of the switch. You need to use the debit card before that date, 31st of August, and you need to log into the online and app banking. If you do all of that, you will get that £125 switching bonus by the end of September. So it's not a fast one, this one. It will take you some time to get it. But again, if you've done some of the quicker switches already, the easier switches, then maybe you'll go ahead and you can wait for that money to come through. Could be earlier, but it's saying by the end of September 2023. That's your 125 quid. Now, if you do want to boost this, then you can apply via a cashback site, via Quidco or Top Cashback. The rates there tend to be between 20 and 40 quid, depending on the cashback site, depending on which account that you go for. And there are some requirements from within this as well. So you have to do more with it. So you have to have at least 2 debit payments. That can be a debit card, it can be a direct debit, a standing order, whatever it is. You have to make 2 of them every month in 3 of the first 4 months from when you open it. So let's say you open it on the 1st of August. You've got August, September, October, and November. In 3 of those months, those things need to happen. And in the same time period, 3 of those 4 months, you need to deposit £500 into the account, okay? If you are, so I would say wait to the start of a new month because you've only got a few days left in July, so you might be hard to do it. Not impossible, but it might be a bit difficult, particularly if you're waiting for the debit card to come in the post. So I would start in August for that one. Then you can get that extra money on top, and that might take a long time to reach you. That could be 6 months away, if not longer. These bank cashback offers from the cashback sites can take a long time, but that's how you boost that a little bit, okay? So if you just want to do that, potentially it's 125 quid for the bank switch from TSB and 20 to 40 quid on top of that from the cashback site, Quidco or Top Cashback. And a quick reminder, if you don't already have an account with Quidco or Top Cashback, there are some welcome bonuses for first-time users. It won't work with this TSB offer. You have to make a transaction. So it could be anyone from, I don't know, ASOS to Argos or whatever, or Virgin Media to Zavvi or whoever it might be, right? There are a number of them over on becleveryourcash.com. So head over to the site, search for cashback welcome offers. Up to 7, time we're recording this, £15 Top Cashback, £17 Quidco. So it's free money. If it's actually, you may as well get it. Anyway, you can get those. Now, to get another 75 quid on top of that, and potentially some more money beyond that from the normal reward from the spend and save accounts, you have to take more actions. And this gets a little bit more complicated. So again, I've got it written here on the side, but again, more details over on the website. So this one, to get this extra 75 quid, you need to pay in £500 a month into the account from another different account in September, October, November, December, January and February for a 6-month period starting in September. Bear in mind, if you're doing that cashback deal from Quidco or Top Cashback, you're going to have to pay some money in potentially in August, depending on when you opened it, but that will have to carry on. So they can be the same £500 potentially from the cashback site offer and this other offer, but it's a longer period, okay, until the end of February. And then in that same period, September to February, you need to make 5 debit card transactions every single month. Now that could be your normal spending or And this is what I did when I've had this offer. You put like £1, then £2 off my credit card bill, my cashback credit card bill, or some people added it to Chip or to NS&I and places like that. So there are ways around that. You also have to keep 2 active direct debit payments between September and February coming out of that TSB account. Now, you've set them up as part of the switch. You'll want to keep them active. So you've got to remember, if this isn't your main account, you're switching a dummy account over, you've got to remember to have enough money in there to cover those direct debits and that spending. If you do all of that until February, then by the end of March 2024, that extra £75 will be paid into your account. So again, this one is a little bit more complicated than the others, but not too complicated. You can kind of automate it and set a reminder at the beginning of the month to go in and make those debit card transactions and check those direct debits are coming out if you need to. Now, I did mention there's a chance to get extra money on top of that as well. That is from, depending if you've got the Spend and Save or the Spend and Save Plus account, quite how much you can get from this. I would suggest you actually go for the Spend and Save account. This one is free. There's no charge for this, but for the first 6 months, you can get cash back, £5 cash back every single month. Now, to get this, and this way it's even more work, so you might decide this isn't worth it. I personally wouldn't bother with it. But to get this one, you have to make 20 debit card payments every calendar month in order to trigger that £5 bonus for 6 months. So you're already doing 5 as potentially as part of that switching offer. So it's another 15. You might feel that's not too bad. But that, if you did that, obviously that's an extra 30 quid you get on the Spend and Save account. The Spend and Save Plus account, that lets you do it all year round. It doesn't stop after 6 months, but it has a £3 fee. So it kind of evens out that it's probably not as good, although the cashback and top cashback bonuses we mentioned before, they can be slightly higher for the Spend and Save Plus. I know that one is a bit fiddly, isn't it? There's a lot of information there. So I definitely would encourage you, if you want more information, to head over to becleverwithyourcash.com/banks. That will take you to my ultimate guide to all the different switching deals. And that from there, you can click through to my broad analysis of the switching deals and those current accounts as well. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Head over to becleverwithyourcash.com for more information and check out these videos right here for more ways to make the most from your bank account.